All right, so welcome to the new Mitel Contact Center agent interface. I want to take 5 minutes here and just do a quick overview of what the interface looks like, how to navigate the interface, and then obviously interact with calls on a basic level. So if you're coming from previous versions of ShoreTel Contact Center, there's no longer any software that needs to be installed specifically for contact center agents. It's all web-based now. Each of you will have a unique internal web address to go to based on your organization, so we'll provide that at the time of training. But once you get there in whatever web browser you're using, most web browsers are supported, it'll take you to this main login page. So this syncs with your Mitel Connect client password, so whatever your username and password is there, you'll use that to log into the contact center software as well. So I'll go ahead and enter that in and hit the green icon, and now this takes me to the main dashboard. All right, a couple things I want to point out here. In the top left, I can see an icon showing me that I'm not ready. So if a call was coming in, I would not be presented with any calls at this point. To do so, I need to log into my queues. I'll click that button here at the top, and now you can see I've been changed to an available state. It's really important that each agent only logs in once at the start of their shift and logs out once at the end of their shift. We don't want agents logging in and out multiple times throughout the day. If you need to step out for a break, lunch, meeting, training, whatever it is, instead of logging out of queues, we want to actually have you click the Stop Taking Requests button, and that's going to put you into a release state. So it says, hey, I'm still here, I'm still logged in, but I'm temporarily taking myself out of the queue so I don't get any new calls because of whatever reason. So you can see in the top left corner here, I now have a new status showing that I'm in release, and I even have a timer showing how long I've been in that release state. Okay, there is an option to have a release code list. So instead of clicking the Stop Taking Request button, there's a list to choose from. This is for tracking and reporting purposes, more for supervisors to be able to see why an agent is in release, right? So if I click on training, instead of saying release now, it'll actually show that I've chosen the training release code. And again, it'll reflect how long I've been in that release state. Okay. Along the bottom here, this is an option. These are called KPIs or key performance indicators. And there's different information or different metrics, real-time information that we can show to agent groups. So here we can see how many agents are logged in, how many agents are idle, how many are in a release, and how many calls are in queue. So we don't have to display this at the bottom. That's just an option. But it is a really nice tool to be able to show some real-time information to a group of agents on really what's going on within the call center. All right, so let me simulate an inbound call coming in and what that looks like. So you'll see that I get a notification here that I have an inbound call, and if I click the green answer button on the left, I now have that call. Again, if you have a desk phone, you can answer by just picking up your desk phone. If you have a headset and you want to answer the headset, you can do that as well. But now I've answered that call. I can see some basic information, caller ID. I'm calling from an internal conference room phone here. But if it's an external call, obviously it'll show the phone number calling in. If your carrier passes caller ID name to you, you'll see that as well. You can even see other information such as the group that it is ringing into. Over on the right-hand side is where we're going to interact with the call. So if I want to hang up on that call, I can click the red hang up button. If I want to put that call on hold, I can do that. Hit the green button to retrieve the call and bring it off hold. And then I've got two options down here. One is a transfer button. So if I want to transfer that call, I have a searchable directory. I don't have to know the extension. I can type in a person's name, and they'll show on that list. I then have an option to do a consultative transfer or a blind transfer, just like you would through your phone. The second icon here is a conference option. So if I want to conference in a third party, I can do that as well. Go ahead and hang up the call here. And now that call is done. Now, if I happen to be logged in, I'm in an available state, and I get up and walk away from my desk, go get a cup of coffee, I forget to put myself into a release state, and a new call comes in. This is what I want to show you. So depending on the configuration that's set for your particular organization, there's a timer on how many times how many rings it's going to try to attempt to ring you before it then moves on to try to find the next agent. When it does that, it will put you, as you're about to see here, into a forced release state. So some companies use 2 rings. I think our default here is 4. So now you can see that it attempted to ring me. I did not pick up that call, so now I'm in a forced release state. Now, I will stay in that forced release state until I come back and actually click on the Start Taking Request button. So it's really important from an agent perspective to be aware of that. If you are walking away from your desk for any reason, or even if you're at your desk and you're going to click out of this window and maybe you're doing some paperwork or whatever it is, you want to make sure that you click the Stop Taking Request button so new calls don't try to ring to you. And be aware that if you did get presented a call and you didn't answer it, it is going to put you into that forced release state, and you will stay there indefinitely until you hit the Start Taking Request button again. All right, so that's just a super fast, super high-level overview of the new Mitel contact center agent interface. Obviously, we'll be doing additional training on site and getting into a little bit more detail, but from a high level, this is a pretty good start just to give you an introduction to what the new application looks like.